Seated staff. This is a posture that I think of as very foundational, much like our standing mountain, because a lot of postures come from seated staff. So sometimes it's even good to take the first 5 minutes of a class to workshop some of these foundational forms, such as seated staff. So seated staff is a nice tall spine, flexed feet, so your thighs are facing upward, and if they're engaged, your heels typically come off the earth. So you can find a middle ground where they're not relaxed, but they're not completely flexed, but they are engaged so much that your thighs continue to point up. They shouldn't roll out. They come midline. And this is staff pose. Lots of places we can go from staff form. As I mentioned, this strap is really great. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. You can use a blanket or a bolster for staff. Finding a hinge. What else can we do? We can find a twist using those abdominal muscles. All of this, again, can be done in a chair. We can add our heart opener. We can deepen it by coming into upward plank or upward tabletop. We can come into revolved position. You've probably seen something like this, right? Using the core. So again, seated staff, lots of places to go in there. So we want to make sure that we get that one down. From seated staff or prior to seated staff, whichever you choose to do, or a wonderful option, I'm going to just kind of diagonal you, is to come in to a one-legged seated forward fold. So a strap is great around actually either of the ankles, finding a tall spine, and then hinging over. You're more than welcome to use the arms. I like to inhale and lengthen that spine. Exhale, one-legged forward fold. Now you can see I can reach beyond the foot. Something, if you see a student doing that, you may want to offer them a block so it challenges them. If you see other people struggling, you might encourage them to stay halfway or use a block under that knee. And it doesn't have to touch. There's no rules here. The only rule is the one that your body says this is where it feels really good and stable. So one-legged forward fold.